Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Second Lieutenant Matthew Johnson, your Master of Ceremonies. It is with great pleasure that we welcome you to the 47th Cyberspace Test Squadron, Detachment 1 Change of Command Ceremony, at which Lieutenant Colonel Zavala will relinquish command to Major Joshua Thomas. The Change of Command Ceremony is a time-honored military tradition, formally restating the continuity of the authority of command. It is a formal ritual conducted before the assembled company of the command, as well as honored guests and dignitaries. The change of command is a transfer of total responsibility, authority, and accountability from one individual to another. The presiding officer for today's ceremony is the commander of the 47th Cyberspace Test Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel David Aparicio. We would like to thank and welcome all commanders, directors, senior enlisted leaders, coworkers, friends, and family joining us online today. Ladies and gentlemen, even though this is a virtual ceremony, we will do our best to follow all traditions. However, to comply with social distancing regulations, we will not complete the symbolic passing of the flag. Lieutenant Colonel Aparicio, the floor is yours.
Good morning. My name is Lieutenant Colonel David Aparicio, and it is my honor to preside over this change of command ceremony, where we honor Lieutenant Colonel Zavala and say thank you and farewell, and we also welcome Major Josh Thomas as he takes over as a detachment commander. So a little background on Detachment 1. They started initially at 2015 here at Edwards Air Force Base, and then slowly grew into an operating location, and then eventually in November of 2019 became an actual detachment. Lieutenant Colonel Zavala was huge and instrumental in that path. Let me just give you a little bit of background on him. He arrived here from Wright Pat in July of 2018, and so he saw the latter part of the transition from basically office to OL to detachment. When he arrived, he took over a unit of about 7 people and grew it all the way to 25. Growth that fast is not a trivial thing, as I've experienced in my career, and the fact that we've done it successfully and continue to grow with the projection of going to 48 in the next 3 years, that's a testament to the leadership and strategy and how he develops the team of Lieutenant Colonel Zavala. During this time, he also made numerous test programs, growing it from 6 to 25, and you'll hear a little bit more of the details of that during his medal reading. Now, transitioning, I'd like to also take this opportunity to welcome Major Thomas. He's going to be the new detachment commander here. A little bit of background. He comes from Oklahoma, went to the University of Oklahoma and studied computer engineering, and also got his master's in computer engineering. He started his career over at Wright Pat at the 46th Detachment out there, and then eventually went to do a classified job at the Air Force Research Lab at Wright Pat, was accepted to test pilot school here at Edwards Air Force Base, and then remained at Edwards with the 461st Flight Test Squadron. His peers and his leaders at the 461st have said some tremendously inspiring words to me. As his squadron commander labels him as an outstanding leader, which I'm very excited about, and they also said he's extremely bright, which you guys are going to be taking full advantage of. But most importantly is what his peers mention. They characterize Major Thomas as dependable, reliable, a mentor, and approachable. And as soon-to-be commander, those are huge characteristics that we want in leaders, that we can approach, that we can depend on them, and we can come with questions no matter what may come in. So that is fantastic. Now, Teddy, I'd like to kind of give you a bit of a charge on where you're going from here. You have basically 3 main objectives, and the first is to take care of your people. And I know you'll do a good job of that. If you take care of your people, that'll lead to the second, which will help you take care of the mission. And I know you'll continue to execute that well. But lastly, I just want you to also remember to take care of yourself, because if you do that, you'll be able to do all 3 of those successfully and very well. I have 100% trust and confidence that you're going to do well in this new job. Lead well, lead boldly, and we are here for you, and we're very excited. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Aparicio. Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Colonel Aparicio will now present the Defense Meritorious Service Medal to Lieutenant Colonel Zavala. Attention to orders. To all who shall see these presents, greeting. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America, authorized by Executive Order 16 January 1969, has awarded the Meritorious Service Medal to Lieutenant Colonel Ever O. Zavala for meritorious service. Lieutenant Colonel Ever Zavala distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander, Detachment 1, 47th Cyberspace Test Squadron from 20 June 2018 to 26 June 2020. During this period, Colonel Zavala led the initial cadre of military, civilian, and contractor personnel to establish a new cybersecurity test unit, laboratory, and capability at Edwards Air Force Base. He worked diligently with his team to hire, onboard, and train 19 personnel, effectively tripling the size of the unit and bolstering the unit's ability to conduct congressionally mandated cyber vulnerability assessments of the B-2, C-17, KC-10, KC-135, KC-46, and RC-135 weapon systems. Additionally, Colonel Zavala drove collaboration with the 412th Electronic Warfare Group to complete a $5 million facility renovation project and field the Air Force Test Center's first avionics cyber test laboratory. Next, Colonel Zavala secured $6 million to develop and field new cyber test capabilities to evaluate communications, navigation, and data link systems. Furthermore, he established formal agreements worth $3 million to evaluate the cybersecurity and resiliency of A-10, B-2, B-21, B-52, F-16, F-22, F-35, T-7, U-2, and VC-25B aircraft and support systems. Finally, Colonel Zavala established a 5-year strategic plan with goals, objectives, and actions to grow Detachment 1 into the nation's premier cyber test workforce and cyber test capability developer. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Colonel Zavala reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the 47th Cyberspace Test Squadron, Detachment 1, Lieutenant Colonel Ever O. Zavala.
Good morning, Det 1. I hope that this message finds you well and in good spirits. I wish that we could be together today in person to celebrate this special occasion. However, your safety and your health is our top priority, and that's why we chose to conduct this change of command in a manner that would minimize the potential spread of the COVID-19 virus. I can't believe that it's already been 2 years and that it's time to hand off the guidon to a new commander. The opportunity to lead the men and women of Detachment 1 is the greatest honor and privilege that I've had in my military career. Nothing will ever top this experience, and I'll never forget the moments that we shared together. Over the past 2 years, we faced and overcame many challenges. We also made significant progress toward achieving our strategic goals, objectives, and our vision. We recently encountered the COVID-19 pandemic, and I made some observations that gave me great hope and confidence in Det 1's future. Not only did you adapt to the situation, but you found creative ways to communicate and collaborate to keep the mission moving forward, and you also took care of each other and ensured that each of you had the support that you needed to stay safe, healthy, and resilient through the current challenges. You truly are an exceptional team and a loving family. Now I want to take this opportunity to publicly thank everyone who made this day possible. First and foremost, I want to thank God, with whom all things are possible. I want to thank my family and friends who supported me from near and far. I want to thank Colonel Choi, Lieutenant Colonel Doster, Lieutenant Colonel Christensen for giving me the opportunity to lead Det 1. I want to thank Lieutenant Colonel Beaverson, who gave me his trust and confidence to lead this team, and for also being a great squadron commander, mentor, and friend. I want to thank Lieutenant Johnson, the 412th Test Wing Protocol, and the 412th Test Wing Public Affairs personnel who planned, coordinated, and executed this event. Finally, I want to thank the men and women of Detachment 1, not only for your contributions to the mission and the defense of our nation, but for the positive impact that you've had on my life. Thank you, Lieutenant Johnson, Dr. Miriam Foltz, Master Sergeant Shepard, Mike Berard, Glenn Ballantyne. We got Burton Gray, Sean Bohr, Max Heald, Captain Micah Villarreal, Shauna Wood, Tech Sergeant Chad York, Brian Meadows, Brandon Jennings, Mitch Ong, Chim Yee, Scott Fairfield, Jesse Furtado, Michael Tucker, Brent Wood, Major Alex Yarovinsky, Captain Nicole Potter, Captain David Besson, Captain Matthew Bean, Art Pratty, Robert Bravo, Karina Holly, and Kelly Tyler. I hope to have the opportunity to thank each of you in person in the very near future. Teddy and Uno, you truly are blessed to lead such an exceptional team. Please take good care of them. Fight for the resources that they need and support them as they expand the envelope of cyber test and evaluation. To the men and women of Det 1, thank you for the opportunity that you gave me to serve as your commander. Please welcome the new commander and take care of each other as you take Det 1 to new heights. May God bless each of you, our Air Force, and the United States of America.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Zavala. We will now proceed with the change of command.
Publish the orders.
Attention to orders. Department of the Air Force, Headquarters, United States Air Force, Washington, D.C., Special Order dated 26 June 2020, under the provisions of Air Force Instruction 51604, by order of Brigadier General Scott Kane, Major Joshua Thomas is hereby appointed as Commander of the 47th Cyberspace Test Squadron, Detachment 1, effective 26 June 2020.
Sir, I relinquish command.
Well done, Knox.
Sir, I assume command.
Lead well.
It is my honor to introduce our new 47th Cyberspace Test Squadron Detachment 1 Commander, Major Joshua Thomas.
Good morning, Det 1, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today on this virtual change of command ceremony. Wish I could see each and every one of you here in the audience today, but in the current environment, it just does not make sense to bring people in and put you at harm's way. First off, I want to thank the AFTC, group, wing, and squadron leadership. Without your support, Det 1 would not be here today. Thank you. Lieutenant Colonel Zavala, sir, thank you for leading over the past couple years this detachment. You've been able to stand up the unit, and more importantly, during this pandemic, you were able to lead and keep our people safe. You're able to keep our people safe, but also continue executing the mission. So thank you. Lieutenant Johnson and to the 412th Public Affairs team, thank you so much for putting this production together. Without your support, this wouldn't happen, and I know that there's a lot of that happens behind the scenes that we and I won't be able to see, so thank you for your hard work. To my family, my mom, dad, my brothers, John and Kobe, I want to thank you guys so much for your loving support. You truly mean the world to me. I have always believed that who we are starts with our family, and then it grows from our teachers to our extended family, to our coworkers, our friends, and it defines who we are. It defines our character. I have been truly blessed with the mentors that I've had over my career, starting from the 46th Test Squadron Detachment 1 with Gyro McAleese, Dave Fleury, and Peter Vilkins, to AFRL and Spike Fanning and Vegas Vallone. And then lastly to the 461st Flight Test Squadron, Fangs Valpiani, and everybody at the ITF. Thank you for letting me grow and learning from my mistakes and learning from you. And finally, to the men and women of Det 1, I am truly honored and humbled to be standing here and to be working with you, not just leading you. I want to make that distinction that we will be working together because we're in this fight together. It is an exciting time to be working cyber testing, and I am truly excited to be here working with you. For those that have joined us that don't know Det 1's mission or understand cyber, I want to give a quick example of why we are here. A few years ago, cyber researchers bought a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and what they did was they found that they were able to distract the driver enough that he didn't feel comfortable driving on the highway. They were able to turn the radio from off to max loudness. They were able to turn the windshield wipers on, wiper fluid. They were able to unlock and lock the door, honk the horn, and roll up and down the windows. Now, imagine that you are a brand new pilot, that you are given this task to fly your aircraft overseas. You're flying to Japan. So as you're flying, the radio turns on and it goes to max loudness, and you are unable to concentrate. While you're working your communications issues, your avionics systems, they all shut down. Do you remember where you are? What do? Can you even divert and save your aircraft? The men and women of Det 1, that is their charge. We are to test and make sure that the vulnerabilities that exist, our adversaries cannot exploit. In closing, again, I am deeply humbled and honored to be your commander. And while I know that this is everybody's favorite time to sit and listen to change of command speeches, we have a lot of work ahead of us. Let's get back to work. Fight's on.
Thank you, Major Thomas. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's change of command ceremony. The men and women of the 47th Cyberspace Test Squadron, Detachment 1, bid a fond farewell to Lieutenant Colonel Zavala and welcome Major Joshua Thomas. Thank you for tuning in to our virtual change of command.